Hey family. So I'm inside right now, and what I'm doing is something kind of it's different for me. I'm not that much of a planner. Like I don't usually like sit down, plan things out, map things out, try to, assess and estimate things before I jump into them. That's usually not me. Um Trying something different this time, trying a new approach, and this is a little bit daunting, y'all. This new adventure that I'm getting into with Wes. We're getting into it together. This new thing that we're kind of approaching here. It's a little bit scary, but it's exciting. It's one of those like standing at the edge and ready to jump, kind of thrilling, but kind of scary. But let me just show you. So all of this is my board I've been working on the floor. All of my plant start schedule kind of things, and here's all the veggies right here that I've got so far, and here's the dates over here that we're looking at, preliminary dates for starting them. And I still haven't finished the rest of the board, obviously, but that's what we have so far. And we've got like probably half the tomatoes already started and up potted. Still got to start some more. Peppers are, they're already germinated. They're just not up potted yet. And then come squash and melons and the herbs all at the same time. The herbs are just, there's some herbs that germinate take longer to germinate and are going to be in the trays longer, and some they're really quick. So we're going to be planting herbs from now to all the way into February. And then later on in the hotter times, preliminary date is like March, maybe, if it's warm enough. Okra and sweet potato slips. And, we do have a greenhouse, so we can kind of like manipulate the temperatures and fudge that a little bit, and we can skew those lines a little bit. And so if we want to start okra in March, or if we have to start sweet potatoes and okra in March, if we need to get ahead on that, we can actually make it hotter, in the greenhouse, put a heater in there, close up the greenhouse, just don't let the cold in and just keep it sweltering in there. Just, you trick plants into doing what you want them to do, basically. So I've been sitting here planning, strategizing, thinking, doing dates and times of trying to plan out not only our family's production for this year, the family garden and stuff, but also this, like I said, this scary new thing that Wes and I are doing. We're sitting here thinking and dabbling and just considering things like selling and productivity in that area, and like if we're gonna have that much, because y'all, we're gonna have a lot of food. We're gonna have a lot of food. Like, I'm talking about so many plants, so many more than we could ever actually put in our garden. So if we have that many plant starts, would it be a good idea to sell them? And all this, things that we have going as possible productivity for the farm, possible extra side hustles or income. We're going to go into more of that in other videos and in our sit down talk on Sunday night live at 5. But it's just kind of daunting but exciting. And I'm just going on through all these possibilities in my head. I know we said that we did not want to do like a market garden, and I know we said we would not do XYZ, but I don't know. We've moved to a new area. We moved to a new place. We haven't explored that option. We haven't seen what the market is like around here. We haven't tried it. So I don't know. Maybe. Well, I'm going to make some phone calls and do some inquiries, and we're going to ask around, and we're going to see kind of if there's a good market for that, or if that would be a good option in nearby towns, nearby cities. I have seen them, some advertisements of farmers markets and things, and we have a local feed store, and then of course they're selling from the farm, just all these different options. So head swimming a little bit with like possibilities. Right now we're at the phase of possibilities, just dreaming a little bit, just dabbling. Speaking of that, I wanted to show y'all what came yesterday. I was so excited. Ran out to the mailbox and got this. The Tiny But Mighty Farm that my good friend Jill has put out. Jill at Whispering Willows. If any of y'all watch Whispering Willows Farm, y'all should watch that. It's a great channel. This is my good friend Jill, and she wrote a book, y'all. She wrote a heck of a book. I mean, I pre-ordered this, y'all, because I was going to get this book when it came out. I was going to have this. Y'all, if this is in the budget, if this is something that you can get, I recommend that you do. I recommend that you buy this, because this is amazing. Like, this is for the home gardener, y'all. It's got everything. Whatever phase you're in, whatever situation you're in, it's talking about community and self-sufficiency, but it's got actual steps. Like, if you want like real life stuff, y'all, like the real deal, like the numbers and the actual how to do it, how to cut costs, how to improve productivity, the infrastructure, the soil, it's got everything, y'all, and it's beautiful, it's informative, it's detailed, it's real. I mean, she's actually done it, y'all. This is somebody that's done it for a long time, and she knows what she's talking about. And whether you're suburban person with a few pots or a tiny little cute, you know, setup that you're growing a little bit and you're interested in growing more, or if you're somebody that has raised beds set up, you know, around your house or in your small area, and and you grow some food for your family, but you'd like to grow more food for your family, or someone who's like really getting it and pushing it and like going to farmers markets or making sales or selling to restaurants, and you're wondering how to make more productivity come out of your farm and how to do it better. Or this is for somebody also who has like never done this, somebody who's never grown anything, and you're like just getting started. This has a chapter for you. Like, this is a great book. Like, I wish I would have had this when I first started. This would have been incredibly useful, incredibly insightful and helpful. But even now, even like years later, as I've been gardening and farming, I kind of know what I'm doing just a little bit. I'm kind of the halfway experienced person. You know, we're not new, but we're not experts by any means. I'm kind of in the middle. So I'm at that mediocre level. I read this and it like sparked a lot of like just thought, you know, because I know all these facts and I know all these like concepts that she's talking about, but it just really presented it in a different way, a lot of new ideas and creativity into my head, and just gave me, especially with the new place, the new home and the new land that we live at now, it was kind of like, well, what if, you know, I've never done that next step. I've never pushed the limits. I've never explored what I could do with this. What if I could, you know, the whole like dreaming now is kind of, it's been sparked a little bit, and I just enjoyed it. It was a great read. I love having it next to the bed and just reading in my quiet time and just taking it in. That's just something comforting to have the voice of Jill in my head as I'm reading her words, and as she's explaining these things and talking through them, I can picture her telling me these things and talking to me. But yeah, so what else can I have on this board as far as like, okay, where we're at now in January, if you think about this. Let me get down here in it. Okay. That's my poor sleeping puppy, my poor Bashy. Yeah, and we have blankets all over our rug and carpet just for him. That's how much we spoil our baby. We have it here just for sleeping Bashy. Just for Mr. Wrangles to take a nap. Because we love him. Yeah. And he's comfy on the floor. But what do I add to this? So I know potager is a completely separate thing. That's going to kind of be our personal kitchen herb garden. That's going to have our stuff in it. But as far as things that we could possibly sell to others, these are all lists of things that we're going to up pot and possibly looking at selling, and things that other people are going to be interested in buying from us. So let's see, maybe, yeah, beans. Yep. I'm just going to do a list here of possibles, because I know these are things that we already have established that we're going to do, things that we've already started, or things we've already uppotted. Y'all help me dream here. Help me wonder about these things. So it's going to be a big old question mark list. Beans. I've already got melons. I've already got herbs. I've already got tomatoes and peppers. A few eggplants. I've already got squash. Let me think. Seeing a lot of other stuff is like direct sow. A lot of other things that I can think of, like corn and stuff, you have to, well, you don't have to, but it really does best if you direct sow it. So, what else? Dang. My mind's drawing a blank. My sweet Lily is in there making me some tea. She's making me her favorite blend of detox tea that we bought it from the store. It's not something we grew organically or something, but she's making me some hot tea so I can get this brain geared up for going again, because I have maxed it out this morning with thinking and dreaming and planning and writing and reading. It's a little bit fuzzy, but she's gonna give me some tea and I'm gonna slow down and I'm gonna think this through, and I'm just gonna write it as it comes to me. But I need y'all to give me some thoughts, some inspiration, give me some ideas, throw it at me. I need some help here. What would people like to have that we could produce from our homestead? What would somebody that like just pulled up at our farm and looked at everything that we were growing in there, and they would ask, "Oh, do you have any blank?" What? Obviously we're not going to be selling any like fruit plants or fruit starts, but Sarah's fussing with a bunny. She has a bunny on the couch. She's fussing at her bunny because her bunny gets into everything. Very curious bunny. Yeah, so I could see people like seeing the tomato plants, seeing the pepper plants, seeing squash plants, and even being interested in melon plants, and of course herbs. Everybody loves herbs. But I feel like I'm missing something. And we're thinking spring and summer here, guys. Springtime and summertime plant starts. Somebody would ask me if I have what? And I say bean plants, like the not the pole beans, the little bush bean plants, because you can. I know we direct seed those, and a lot of people do direct seed those, but I wanted to possibly sell them as plant starts. I know they grow really fast, but I wanted to sell them as little bush bean plant starts. I want to see how they do. I want to experiment with that. It's an experimentation, I know. So I'd be selling bush bean plant starts. I'm trying to think of what else. Dang. I really am drawing a blank, y'all. I'm going to have to go through my seeds. Like, I'm going to have to go through all the things that we ordered for the spring and summer seed packets and just kind of go through it and write it on this board. But, oh, yeah, okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back through my seeds and recollect, get my mind right. And, yeah, okay. I'll be back in a minute. Y'all, there is nothing like a fresh hot cup of tea to get your mind right. Oh, and my bread starter is looking really good. Nice and bubbly. Yep, looking good, smelling good. Just keep that covered in a cool, dry, warm place. Sorry about the dirty dishes, guys. Just haven't done them yet. And I do have my sourdough bread that I worked on all morning. It's rising. Oh, it's looking good. Yeah. As soon as it rises enough, I will bake it, but it's lifting pretty good. Stay here under the light. Okay, so the other ones I thought of are when I got, resettled for a minute and looked through all my seeds and kind of thought about this and planned this out. The other things that I would like to grow in a pot and possibly sell to other people are cucumbers, eggplant, and tomatillo. And I think that pretty much covers all bases, because the broad categories that I put on the board do have subcategories. Like squash is like winter and summer squash. Melons is like all kinds of melons, cantaloupe, watermelon, honeydew melon. It's wide varieties, but they do have subcategories. So fear not. It's a lot more than it seems. And in another video, like I said, we're going to show you just how extensive what I'm talking about is. I'm not talking about a couple of plants or a couple of seeds. I'm talking about taking on a whole new level. That's what I'm talking about. And that's, I know it's scary. I know it is. Like I'm there. I'm at that point of like, I know we can. I know we can. I know we have the ability. There's the whole should we to consider. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. But I feel in my heart and my mind like this is a yes, like we should do this. This is something we can do and we should do. I feel like we're being led to this. I do. And I'm going to pray more on it, and I'm going to feel it out and discuss it with Wes. Obviously, we're going to be led by the Spirit, but I am feeling like this is a good thing. I'm getting all encouraging feelings and vibes about this. I'm getting positive feedback in my mind and heart about this. Oh, that's so good, y'all. So good. If you haven't had your cup of favorite tea today, I need you to go do that or find it or drive to it or make it or whatever. I need you to have your cup of encouraging tea right now. Just soak that in and enjoy that tea time. You know, people in Europe have it right, or people in England rather, they have it right. Tea time is like, it's a must. We need to do tea. I don't know why Americans ever got away from that. We need to have tea time. We do. So yeah, I just, for all of you out there that are in that with me and you're scared, but you're wondering if you should or if you can, I urge you to consider it. Like, really consider the possibilities, like what could go wrong, but also what could go right. You know, like, oh, this is exciting, daunting for sure, but exciting. I think we're going to do this, y'all. I think this is going to be a thing that we do. And how could it be bad, right? Because consider this for a moment. Consider what happens if we quote unquote fail, or if it doesn't work out, or say nothing sells. We have a lot of plants. Okay, I have a lot of plants. Best case scenario, I plant more in my garden than I ever have before. I find places to stick 1 million plants into the ground, and I grow a whole lot of food. And I know that can be given away or sold or used or preserved or can bless everybody's life. I know that can. So worst case scenario, I have a whole lot of things to grow. And that is not a bad scenario, y'all. That's not a bad situation to end up with. I think that's a win. So if that's worst case scenario, I think I can live with that, you know? So I think the pros are really outweighing the cons on this one. That's why I feel so good about it. There's not a whole lot of, we're going to be growing our own food anyway. It's just doing more of what we love to do. So it's not a whole lot of risk there. I don't feel like there's a lot of risk involved. Of course, there's extra monetary loss. If this doesn't work out, there's a little extra monetary loss and a lot of time invested that may not come to fruition, but it's time well spent. It's time doing things that we love to do anyway. I'm not really seeing the downside to this. But I will go add cucumbers and eggplants and tomatillos to my board, and I will get back into Jill's book for a minute and start digging more into that. And I'm going to start really thinking this out. I'm going to start crunching things, data, numbers, estimations, and I'm really going to start doing some figuring. That's outside my wheelhouse a little bit. That's really outside my comfort zone. I think I'm going to step outside that comfort zone for a minute, and I'm going to try to be the thinker and the planner for a minute. It's going to be good, y'all. It's going to be fun.
The basil